Welcome to the Palace of Megapixels. This is Super Mega Brothers Turbo.
And welcome to Super Mega Crash Brothers Turbo. I'm your host, Stephen White, and with me, as always, is Todd Stark.
Hello.
How you doing, buddy?
I have had a crazy week.
What's been going on?
Birds.
Birds?
I feel like I'm in like some kind of Alfred Hitchcock shit.
Okay.
I come home Saturday, and there are just... Somebody has beat the hell out of my Jeep.
With just like...
I thought bird shit, but like there was little claw marks all over it, and just like an unusual amount of bird crap all over my car, like down the entire side. Like I parked under a power line.
Wow.
And scratched my Jeep all to hell, all the way around it. Attacked my windows, the mirrors, everything. Right? Hell, I went and bought it.
What the hell?
Then they did it to Jenna's car.
Why?
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I've seen a bunch of red birds, right? And the funny thing is, I hit a red bird on the way to work the other day. Like, all I seen was 3 red feathers, you know? And I'm starting to think, there he is, get him, you know?
So there's a vendetta for the
what
murder
I feel
of
like.
this
I
bird.
keep looking for the bird in my grill. I'm thinking, they smell him. And they're just shitting everywhere. So I went and I bought a fake owl, right?
Yeah.
Got him. Did you see him?
No, I didn't.
It's Hootie. I hung him in a tree, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know... The next day I get up to go to work, and I noticed there was just a bird crap. It just slung across my Jeep, one single stream, like solid line, you know. And I was like, that. He was like, get him! Oh shit, an owl! And just shit shot on the Jeep. So far so good. I'll have 4 marks on my Jeep today.
But that's just wow. That's bizarre.
I've never had this happen before.
I've never heard of that happening before. So that's interesting.
They have this. Just whooped my Jeep's ass.
Wow.
And left like...
Now, has this happened all through the work week?
No, just here at the house.
Well, I just mean, has it just happened while you...
It started happening last Saturday when I went to Walker Stalker Con.
Okay. So that's what I was kind of curious. Have you been home long enough to actually witness it happen?
I've seen the birds on the top of my Jeep. That's all I've seen. And I hear them. Like, I hear them. They hit the garage door, too.
Wow.
Early in the morning.
So they're just like after you. I'd start watching myself. And
I'd
be looking out in the trees.
And like we went to the Renaissance Festival a couple of weeks ago, 2 weekends ago. And Peyton got a bird whistle, right? So she's been outside doing the bird whistle. And she said, Daddy, I got to tell you the truth. I said, what, baby? She said, I think I made him mad. It's the bird whistle. She said, I promise I won't do it anymore outside.
I'm going to start like keeping an eye on my vehicle. I don't want it to get attacked.
I don't know, like anything out there. Like last night, Jenna parked back. Did you see the amount of bird crap on her car?
No, I didn't.
It looks like somebody hit it with a softball bird turd, you know?
Wow.
It's crazy. But if you park back there, it seems like it's okay. Makes me think there's a nest up here.
Could be. They find your vehicles to be a threat.
They see their reflection, yeah.
It's like, what is this? Go away.
They're flying by. He's like walking, like, that's another red bird.
Like what?
Bam, 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 bam. Hit the side of the Jeep. I'm like, that bird's whooping your ass and you're whooping the bird's ass. I don't know.
Well, outside of that, what have you been playing?
I finally finished God of War.
Finally
finished it Sunday night. Just kind of going back and cleaning up. Been battling the birds this week and soccer.
Okay.
So, and yard work.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
But I did finish that up. I'm getting the platinum, so I started doing some of the challenges that are on this one area you can go to. It's more the whole deal with it is no story mission, but there's challenges to do to finish that world.
Gotcha.
So,
okay.
And it's pretty tough. I think the one I'm doing now is I have to kill 100 enemies.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it sucks because they're all like level 6, like you are. They're equal to you. They might be one level below you to give you a chance, but
yeah, I've
got down to like 70.
So you're getting there.
Yeah, I kind of quit. I quit doing it and went back out and tried to find did some of the story missions that I haven't done. Try to up my armor a little bit because You can upgrade all of his stuff now.
Yeah.
You can have him look like a full-on knight if you wanted to.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I guess
No helmet, though. Yeah.
I guess it would be worthwhile
Yeah.
just to at least buff him up.
Yeah, it's cool.
Nice.
What about you?
Still working on Lego Marvel Superheroes 2. I feel like I've done almost, I don't want to say all, but a good portion of the side quest stuff, whether it be bricks and characters and races and whatnot, to try and get the platinum. Now I'm trying to focus more on the story missions to unlock whatever has yet to unlock, so I can focus on that. Because I started looking through a lot of the trophies that are available.
Right.
I'm going to hit a lot of that like right at the end. Because it's like, got to get 100% of this, or you have to collect all the bricks, or save all the characters, and you can't do that until you get to the very end because some things are just not available. So I'd say once I get to the last portion of the story, all these are just going to start popping.
Right.
So I'll get there. And then I also kind of played, I don't remember what I was doing. I think I was trying to upload something or trying to get something going.
Right.
So I was just off in another room. Played Godzilla for a little bit because I was just I just needed something else to play temporarily because I was trying to move the game into the other room.
Right.
But I had not downloaded it. So yeah, I have it on disc, so that uploaded, but the update files and all my DLC and stuff like that I already had for my files, I was like, well, I got to wait on this. And of course, my internet's not exactly primo. So
I know exactly how you feel.
So I was like, all right, well, while that's doing that, I'll play something else. And I just looked at Godzilla and I was like, yeah, okay. Because I tried playing Human Fall Flat and I'm at a spot where it got frustrating.
Right.
Because you have to shoot yourself through a hole. And I was like, I can't. I don't have patience for this.
Right.
You know, you're not going to, I have to sit here and push this and pull it. And I've shot myself at this gate enough times that I should have gone in by now. Screw it. I'm done with it.
Okay, so what is the premises of Human Fall Flat?
I don't know. There's not really a story per se. It's just one of those physics-based games. So your character's like a little ragdoll, so to speak, and you just kind of go through these little setups to try and get from point A to point B. And I got to a point where I was getting really good at it, the whole control scheme, but that one portion trying to make me shoot through this narrow-ass hole with a catapult, and you have to line it up just right. There's no easy way to do it. So I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'll play something else. And that's why I picked up Godzilla.
You should still play Little Nightmares.
I do need to play it. You know what I did get?
What'd you get?
Because this is one of those moments, I was sitting there telling you, I'm not going to buy anything else. I'm not going to buy anything else. And of course they have sales. And I was looking at what they had, and they had Agents of Mayhem for like $10. It was like the complete package. And I was like, this is not going to, it'll be a while before this comes back around, so I might as well jump on it now.
And you've already missed the start of God of War, and you're fixing to get it from me.
So I just went ahead and got it, so it's there for whenever. But I've still got this to play, so. And I actually went back and started looking because I've got a folder set as my backlog.
Yeah.
I have 18 games in that damn thing.
I don't even want to know what mine is. I need to do that. I want to do that of my backlog and just figure out, not counting the PS Plus game.
Yeah.
Because some of those I've played, but I'm not going to count those because they're just given to me.
But see, I've got a few that aren't in there that I know that I've played, but maybe not finished. Like I think I've got one where I think I call it like trying out. Hitman's in there, and I don't know what it is about this particular one, but I had so much fun with, what was it, Absolution that came out on the PS3?
I remember what you're talking about.
I mean, for whatever reason, I remember playing it, and I
it was fun, dude.
Probably could have platinumed it if it wasn't for that hard mode nonsense. And I was like, I don't want to do this again.
It felt like Assassin's Creed set in the Hitman universe. That's what was awesome about it.
Yeah, and this one doesn't feel different, but there's just something about it that's I haven't gotten into it like I did the other one.
Is this one the one where they release it in episodes?
Yeah.
Do you have all the episodes?
Mm-hmm.
How, did you have to buy them or did you get them for free?
I think I just got like the full package. It was on sale. So I don't remember how much it was. It was pretty cheap. So I was just like got the season pass all at once. And like I said, it was fun, but I just don't feel like I'm having as much fun with it as I was the first one I ever played.
Right.
Because I even went back and tried to play some of the older ones because I think they were free, and I was like, nah.
Well, they didn't change the controls, man.
Yeah.
The controls were just junk back then. How did we play games back then?
I don't know. Some were good, though. Some had decent controls, but not all of them.
Well, like, I think it started to change with GoldenEye, that layout, because then it went to Call of Duty and got huge, you know?
Yeah.
Just, I don't understand, like, the whole moving and everything was so, it was like driving a tank
Yeah.
a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
Turn his body like this with R1. And why the hell can't I just control, because, you know, they hooked everything to the camera with the right stick, it seemed like.
Yeah.
Move the camera. Just can't move your person. So stupid.
I don't think we could probably play GoldenEye as well as we used to because we had those controls down pat. We got used to it. Today, no, it would be terrible.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's talk about some news. I've got a little bit of news. First of all, I want to do a quick update around the net neutrality. There was a vote held in the Senate to repeal net neutrality, which passed by 3 votes.
Good.
This allows principles cited within the guidelines to remain in place until June 11th. Now, for those in favor of net neutrality, which I feel like most of us are, it's a victory, but kind of a minor one at best, because right now it's still kind of a perilous situation because it still has to go through another vote through the House, and it could easily be shot down there.
Well, isn't it going to Congress now?
Yeah. So when the House votes,
they're saying it's not going to make it through Congress.
I don't think it will either. I hate to be a Debbie Downer about it, but there's a lot of people there who are not going to benefit if it is voted down. So there's that. But if by some miracle it passes, it still has to go through the president, who's got to sign off of it, and I don't think he'll sign off on it either. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. I would hope for the best, but I'm going to be a pessimist here.
Anytime it involves Trump, I'm a pessimist. I don't know why. Like, honestly, I want him to do good.
Yeah.
If he does good, we do good. You know, but
exactly.
God damn it. He's not doing good.
No.
He'll do something like, you know, the whole thing with the internet for everybody kind of thing.
Yeah.
I thought that was a great idea.
Sure.
You know, everybody needs internet.
Yeah,
I need
exactly.
internet. Give me internet.
Please.
But then he just shits in his bed, you know, the next day on Twitter or something like that. I'm just like, get rid of Twitter.
Yeah, somebody needs to take that away from him. All right, well, we won't get political. The next story I've got is this week, Microsoft announced the Xbox Adaptive Controller. It's designed for gamers with limited mobility. It was a collaborative effort between Microsoft and a few organizations such as Special Effect, the Able Gamers Charity, Craig Hospital, and the Cerebral Palsy Foundation, among others, to not only create a solution that's highly adaptive for any gamer with limitations, but also to make it affordable, because those adapters for those type of gamers, they're pricey.
What do they look like?
The devices they have?
Yeah.
I'm not really sure. I've never really looked into a whole lot of them, but it really depends on the condition, I guess. But this controller will allow button reprogramming to help kind of fit the need, as well as support for any external inputs for third-party devices. So any of those other devices they might have, this will work with it, or should. I think they have a list that you can find of all the adaptable inputs that kind of work with it right now.
Right.
But the device will release later this year exclusively through the Microsoft Store for $99.99, which is not too far off from what a controller costs, so it's not that bad. And will be seen at E3 next month. So
cool.
I think that's good.
It's a good thing.
It's a fantastic idea.
I would rather it be, well, I mean, I know they don't have many exclusives, so they get exclusive controllers.
Well, I think I really hope that this will encourage Sony and Nintendo to do the same thing, to try and find a way to create a controller that would work for their systems as well.
But why not just form a partnership and it's there now?
It would be a smart idea, but everyone's going to do their own thing.
Yeah.
All right, let's go through some quick hits.
Quick hits!
No Man's Sky is going to finally add multiplayer in July.
I've
finally.
seen that. Like, what, 4 years later?
Yeah.
3 years later?
Well, yeah, it's been maybe not that. It's been a while.
Yeah,
it's been
a while.
years. So, do you think you might go back to it?
No.
No? I know that
I have Usenet.
Yeah, that's right. You would have no... I might. I'm not going to go out of my way to do it, but if I can find someone to play with just to kind of see, because I haven't been back since all the updates, so
Right. I haven't either.
Maybe I'll go look around. I don't know. We'll see.
I traded it in. I looked the other day when I seen that. I've traded it in, so
nah.
I'm not going to buy it again.
No. Tons of new footage and information dropped about Call of Duty Black Ops 4.
Kind of excited.
One piece was clearly stated, and I don't know if you saw this, there will be no single-player campaign.
Yes, but I also seen they said it's not included in the game right now.
Okay. So they're pulling a Battlefront?
That's what I feel like. But the thing is like they've always done a single player game. So we know that they can do one and that there's probably one already floating around. But are they going to make us pay full price and then pay full price again?
That would be bullshit.
That's what I'm wondering. Mm-hmm. Oh, you bought multiplayer. This is a single player game. Even if you got to spend $30 on it, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Unless you include it in like the season pass. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Even that's kind of
it is,
weak.
But you get all the map packs that you get, plus you get the single player for the season pass. Mm-hmm. Only on season pass, not if you buy each one of them. You have to buy the season pass.
Well, we'll see. Yeah. I don't care.
As long as it does that, I'll feel better about it. Same price for the season pass, and you get that too. So it's almost like you pretty much bought the game anyway, but they're just forcing you to get your season pass.
Sure. There was a new Kingdom Hearts 3 image that kind of came out, and it confirms that there will be a world around Wreck-It Ralph. Yeah. And you know what I was kind of noticing? Since we've got Toy Story, I think there was Monsters, Inc., Wreck-It Ralph. Have you noticed that a lot of these, I think even Frozen, we talked about that. Have you noticed that they're leaning more toward the heavily CG world, so it's almost like you can lift those models and not have to worry about creating a 3D model of a 2D character now?
Well, from what I've heard is with this one, they want to heavily favor a lot of the newer generations. That's what they're trying to do.
Mm. That's fine. I think for right now, considering they've got such a wide library of new stuff that's really popular, I might as well take advantage of it.
It doesn't matter what they do. That game's going to be a success as long as it stays, as long as it's done right like the other ones.
Sure. The Rage 2 trailer
That's the game.
This week.
Remember what I was telling you about the worst endings ever? Mm-hmm. Rage was the game.
Rage was the game.
The ending of that game sucked. It was a total of 30 seconds long. What I seen, I don't know if it was a secret ending or what.
So it was like an old Nintendo game?
Oh, dude, it was. I would rather. No, at least I was excited for the Nintendo game when
Yeah.
But
So are you looking forward to this at all?
Oh yeah, I can't wait to play that game. The first 50% of that game, Rage, the first one, awesome game. And then you go through this like game show at this one point because you get kind of trapped in this one city and you got to go through this game show to get out.
Yeah.
Sucks after that. I mean, it's freaking horrible.
Okay. Battlefield 5 was confirmed by EA.
It's going to be called Battlefield 5, yeah.
Yeah. Valve launched a new website and teased top secret games.
Please be Left 4 Dead 3.
You think it will be?
On PS4.
Well, we'll see.
Please.
They haven't said what it is, but they're top secret now.
They are top secret. That's good. That's because they're going to reveal them on E3.
Hey, guess what?
What?
Shaq Fu, A Legend Reborn, is getting a super secret DLC.
Heard.
A famous character of some sort. Who do you think it'll be?
Larry Bird.
Think so?
I don't know.
I mean, who could it be?
Michael Jordan?
But I feel like that would take away his thunder.
Yeah.
Even any other basketball player would take away his thunder.
Yeah.
So,
did you know Shaq is the highest earning former athlete of any?
I did not.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, he does all those infomercials. He's making more money now than when he played basketball.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, good for him.
That's awesome, isn't it? Smart. You wouldn't think that about him.
No.
Dude's smart.
At least he's not doing another Kazam.
Yeah. He could if he wanted to.
Yeah, but he doesn't need to. Hello Neighbor is finally coming to PS4, Nintendo Switch, iOS, and Android on July 27th. I'm looking forward to that. I know I could probably play it right now, but
it's better on a controller.
Yeah.
You know, why is that an argument?
I don't know.
Like, people with controllers wouldn't be able to do as good as people with a mouse. I just think I could hang with a person with a mouse. Could you?
I mean, I've played with a mouse. I just don't feel comfortable with it. I'm more comfortable with a controller. I feel like you need to play with whatever works best for you.
Right.
Some can do mouse and keyboard and all that. Good for you, but it's not my bag all the time.
Right.
It makes me feel disconnected somehow.
Disconnected.
And maybe with some time, I could probably figure it out, but right now I just can't. And I can understand where it could be better for first-person shooters. If you could figure it out and do it right, sure. I mean, sure, you'd have all sorts of mobility, but
I just don't feel like that I would be that much better than somebody with a controller.
Yeah. I don't know. But who cares? Days Gone.
Yes.
Had character, or has mentioned in new trailers and stuff like that you kind of mentioned before the show. We got character customization, bike customization, which I'm excited about.
Dude, I'm pumped about this game, period.
There will be no easy mode.
None.
Going to have dynamic weather. Which
makes me wonder, like, during the video, the first part was they're riding along, and you can see that it's not nighttime, probably middle of the day, kind of cloudy.
Yeah.
They're going on a mission. They're trying to chase this one guy down that, I guess, stole drugs or something. I can't remember what they said he did. Mm-hmm. But while they're riding, it starts raining, right? So it gets muddy. And the bike started, the way they were talking, like, the handle's different in the mud. So I'm wondering.
I would hope so, yeah.
Because they said that the bike is a big part of this game. And you can lose the bike.
Oh.
So you would have to go find it. There's no fast travel to the bike. Like, if something happens and you get separated from your bike, well, you got to go back and get the damn thing. So I think that is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I really do.
They said there will be large populated cities. And what I was kind of wondering about that, do they mean populated with actual people or zombies?
They said there are metropolitan areas, kind of like that. So I'm interested.
That's interesting. I mean, that's different for a zombie game or story, I guess.
But what does it sound like?
Yeah. Well, we've talked about it. And that the game, I don't really guess this is a big deal, is that it can be continued after the credits. So I'm assuming, like, once the game ends, you can still go back and
do things,
do whatnot, which I like.
I also heard that the how they always compare it to The Last of Us. Oh, it's got that Last of Us look. And they said, man, the only thing that's about this game that's like The Last of Us is it's a third person action game.
Yeah.
And he said it's more like Far Cry 5 than it is The Last of Us.
Nice. I don't know. I've kind of... I like bikes and games. I'm not much of a biker person in real life, but like in Watch Dogs 2, when I wanted to go for a vehicle, bike was where I'd go to 9 times out of 10.
Same thing on Grand Theft Auto.
I don't know. They handle so much better, and you have a lot more maneuverability and get through stuff. So I kind of hope that they'll have that same feel to them where you can just haul ass, but also very dangerous, because if you screw up, you're going to die.
Well, they said that, like, in parts of the areas, there's the roads or the bridges were taken out to kind of stop the infestation, and there's jumps.
Okay,
and you get points for jumps.
Nice.
And so you can't do wheelies though, but you can do tricks.
Fair enough.
Yeah, whatever. There was another thing. The freakers. I didn't know this, because you think, well, they're zombies and they're just calling them freakers. They're living people. They're not dead.
Oh,
yeah. So
okay.
I heard that, and they said that there's an organization in the game that's trying to heal these people. So there's a chance that this could end, I guess. So it's kind of cool when you think about you're killing people that are alive.
Technically zombies. Then.
Yeah, they're not zombies. They have to eat. They have to sleep.
Well, good. At least it's kind of changing.
Yeah. I seen there was one area they had like one of the freakers' nest, and they go and they throw like I guess like a Molotov cocktail on it and burn it, and then they started coming out at them. So they had to sit there and kill them all. That's kind of cool.
Weird.
Yeah.
Sony is discontinuing Vita cartridges, which I don't really guess we're all that surprised. Didn't we talked about recently? They said that they were going to stop production.
Yeah, I think so.
Or something like that.
I
know it's slowly dying.
Yeah.
So this is just another nail in the coffin. Which
why make things for it that, one, you're not really pushing, and you can get it digital. You make it they probably looked at the numbers, and more people are down. I don't buy games anymore. I just download the games.
I probably only had one Vita game that I actually had a disc for, or cartridge, or whatever you want to call
Tearaway?
No, I never, because I think I borrowed that from you.
Yeah, that's right.
But I think it was the one that came with it.
Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
I got that, and I got Freedom Wars. I didn't buy anything else.
A Street Fighter crossover is happening on the mobile game Power Rangers Legacy Wars. you want to see some Street Fighter and Power Ranger crossover?
I'll fall asleep.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Gearbox said that Borderlands 3 will not be at E3.
It'll be the day before.
That'd be funny.
Yeah, they'll be. I don't know if they'll be there or not, but they got to be announced. They might not be there, but they're going to be announced. Something's
maybe
gonna be announced with
somebody, little
you know?
something. Shenmue 3 has officially been delayed to 2019.
Okay.
And the last and kind of interesting bit is Nintendo has filed new trademarks on old franchises such as Star Fox, F-Zero, Nintendogs, Pikmin, and more. I think they're getting ready to roll out some new games.
Yeah, well, we've seen a bunch of them, I think.
Not all of them.
Yeah, we've seen them all at PAX East. They're there.
Well, not all of those. Not
what
like
I'm thinking
Pikmin
is they're
and
just going to keep
Nintendogs.
doing the in-between times. They're going to do like Sony did until they have their first-party games get built up.
Out of all the ones that they listed, I feel like Nintendogs is the one that's going to take, for whatever reason, like the one they're going to push because you have your game that you can take with you now and take your dog for a walk. I guarantee it's going something like that is going to come into play. Trust me.
I'm glad we don't have one.
Right. So what we have next is a story, kind of an update to something we spoke about a few months back. Was the announcement of the upcoming Cartoon Network series Mega Man that they're doing.
Yeah.
We got a few bits of information about the show. It's going to be premiering this fall. It will kind of feature like that 3D computer animation style that a lot of them do now, which I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but I guess I was slightly disappointed, just kind of fingers crossed hoping it would be hand-drawn, but I should have known better. Anyway, and lastly, it actually has an official name now. It's called Mega Man Fully Charged, and this is the official synopsis. So tell me if you might want to watch this show.
Okay.
Aki Light is a regular upbeat robot schoolboy. He lives in the futuristic world of Silicon City, co-inhabited by robots and humans. But this robot boy has a secret. Deep within his programming lie protocols that can transform him into the powerful hero Mega Man. When the villainous Sergeant Knight and his evil team of robot masters emerge with ill intentions, Mega Man dedicates himself to protecting the citizens of Silicon City. Equipped with his Mega Buster arm cannon and the ability to absorb powers of his opponents, he bravely battles the wickedest of villains. In this brand new series inspired by the iconic Mega Man video game, comical, action-packed adventures abound as we follow the journey of Aki Light and his alter ego Mega Man as he strives to balance life as an ordinary robot boy and an amazing superhero.
An ordinary robot boy. Mm-hmm. How is that ordinary?
Well, ordinary in the town of metropolis of Silicon City.
Gotcha.
I guess as it is
in
the future.
It's Mega Man.
I want to give it a shot.
Yeah.
I mean, there might be something at some point where you're just like, all right, this is not really grabbing me.
So, Aki Light, Dr. Light's son.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I got to wonder if he's going to have a sister. He'd have to have a sister. Otherwise, and his dog.
Maybe later on.
Maybe later on. I don't know. So I'm curious. I'd give it a shot. Like, I guess.
Thumbs up.
Most of the time with shows like, did you ever watch the new DuckTales?
Oh yeah, I watched it the other night.
Because I didn't want to go in sitting there thinking, this is not going to be good as the original. I didn't want to be that grump. I was like, I'll give it a watch. See what I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the hell out of it because
felt like, I think the thing I have to get used to is the new drawing.
Yeah,
the new art style they took.
But their humor toward it, their approach to it was clever because they even. I remember there was an episode where they even kind of pointed out some of just the flaws of the other show, just kind of winks and nods. I think it was, who was it? Huey? No, it was Louie. Louie was trying to hang around with Scrooge, talking about, he wants to learn how to be a rich business duck and all this other stuff. He's like, you got to teach me everything. He's like, I'll teach you when I got time, and just hang around and watch me. And he's like, I'm going to go take a dive in your money bin. And he goes to jump in. Scrooge grabs him and goes, what are you doing? You'll break your head. He's like, that's not feasible.
Because he used to do it.
Yeah. And I was like, that's good.
Yeah.
So just little things like that made it kind of worthwhile. So, again, I'll give this a watch, see if it's worth watching. If I dig it, cool. If not, then maybe it's for somebody else.
Yeah. Have you seen Gizmo Duck on there yet?
Not yet.
Yeah, they just showed that he was getting ready to show up.
Yeah, I think they were hinting at it. Yeah.
Yeah. The one thing I can't use for some reason, Launchpad sounds so.
Yeah, he's a little off.
Yeah, it's off. There's something. He's trying to mimic the old guy or something.
And I think that's what I appreciated with all the other characters, that they weren't trying to mimic. They just were them.
Right.
Themselves, just trying to put a whole new spin on everything. Right. Because David Tennant is Scrooge. That was just do your voice, man. You got it. And it's perfect.
Yep.
So, I don't know. We'll see. All right. Next thing, and I've renamed this. It's no longer the rumor mill. We're gonna have more fun with this. Truth or trash?
Truth or trash? I like this.
Trash.
I like this. Yeah. I like this.
Fortnite confirmed for Nintendo Switch.
Truth.
Call of Duty Black Ops 4 as well.
Trash. It's too early.
Don't think so?
Oh wait, no. What was Black Ops? Well,
no. The game we were just talking about earlier.
Yeah, Larry. What are you talking about? Like
it's good. It's also going to be on Nintendo Switch.
Oh no, trash.
Okay.
Now, I don't know where I went somewhere else. Right.
That's fine. Well, I didn't. I guess I didn't specify it clearly. A Fortnite Call of Duty Black Ops 4 crossover is going to happen.
Nah, I think they're just talking about the Battle Royale.
So no?
Trash.
Okay. And here is a fun, something we've never had before, a rumor debunking a rumor.
Let's hear it.
Yeah. From Software's new game is not Bloodborne 2, but it's going to be at E3, whatever it is.
Yeah, I'd heard that. I wonder if it's going to be on Sony's stage.
We'll see. Was Bloodborne ever on another?
No. It was only on PlayStation.
Well, then there you go. So, truth?
Yeah. Truth.
All right. That's all I got.
That's it.
Yeah, there was very.
Did you?
Very
speaking of E3, did you see Sony's press or little thing with Sean Layden? What he said about that? They hammered down what they're going to show at E3.
I didn't.
They said there's going to be four games pretty much showcased. It's going to be The Last of Us 2. You'll see gameplay.
I think I did, but I didn't read what they were. But I think I know what you're talking about.
Death Stranding, Days Gone's you're gonna get a lot more of that.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man's gonna be one of the cornerstones.
Sure.
So they're gonna show those four. That'll be the ones that kind of hold everything together, I guess. There's gonna be some first party announcements, and people are like, so does that mean they're gonna make this small like PSX? Which to me PSX isn't that small.
Yeah.
But is it gonna be flashy like it was last time?
Well, if they've got something to flash, I'm sure they will.
I think they will. That's where you do it is E3, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. You
so just
pull the flash out, show them the watch.
Yeah.
I think they're going to have some big announcements.
Yeah.
Like just because they're saying these are the games we're going to show, you're not going to see any more games. That doesn't mean you're not going to see trailers that announce some big things. So
I mean, they could be doing a sleight of hand and just be like, here, look at these things. These are the things that you're going to see.
Yeah.
And then just kind of shove all the other stuff in the background. It's like, don't let them know anything else.
Because
Surprises,
to me,
man.
one of the best things I liked was, we went to the E3 PlayStation experience. Mm-hmm. The hour before the show was just announcements of like indie games.
Yeah.
So I thought that was cool. They didn't put them on stage because they had so much to show. They gave them a whole hour.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people seen that. Now I didn't see anybody else do that.
No.
Honestly though, Microsoft did show a bunch of indie games. Mm-hmm. But I hope they do it again. That was my favorite part.
Yeah.
The show was awesome, but I love those indie games too.
Mm-hmm. I think Nintendo's definitely going to push that this year.
Yeah.
However they do it, whatever they do. But yeah, they've got to step up their game too because they don't really seem to have anything on the horizon right now other than Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is we've seen a lot of their games getting ready to come out is the ones from PAX East because everybody was coming to Switch, and even one of the developers said there's just a big demand for them. That's where everybody's going because they know they're going to get on there.
Sure.
So whatever.
All right, I got one bit of weird news.
Ooh, just one?
Yeah, because there wasn't. This is a weak for a lot of stuff.
People haven't been weird. I think they can't out weird Trump. So
this was kind of weird. I don't know if you saw this or not, and if you haven't, you're gonna have to grab your phone. Have you seen Hairless Mario?
Hell no.
Look that up
right now.
Because somebody, what they did,
shaved him.
They took his hair, his mustache, his eyebrows, his sideburns, everything, Mario is a hairless plumber, and I want to know what you think he looks like, because I have one particular observation as to what character he looks like.
Oh God!
And anyone listening right now, while Todd is looking that up, look it up. Google hairless Mario.
His face,
Yeah, who does he look like to you?
like Dopey.
Dopey's good. I said Elmer Fudd.
Yeah, he does. Man, he's like all those guys like rolled up. That is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Clean shave. Looks like Craig Gustin, the guy works with eyebrows and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Josh
everybody, go right now if you haven't done it. Google hairless Mario. You won't regret it.
Look like Josh Dobbs play for Tennessee.
I got no items this week. There was nothing to buy.
No, I'll buy it for $1.
No, I'm sorry. There was just, I seriously looked. There was really nothing.
Well, there was a lot of. Well, I've been watching freaking Days Gone all week.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait for that game. So, I'll buy that for $1 and
No.
nothing cool to find like that. It's just all news this week.
Yeah. Pretty much. Now, before we get into our game releases, and then after that, our review of the game Stay, which is on PC and Xbox One, I actually had a chance to sit down and chat with the developers of the game, Iñaki Díaz and Dani Moya, to discuss the origin of the game, along with other numerous facets about the game. So here's that interview. All right, we are sitting down with the developers of the game Stay for PC and Xbox One, Iñaki Díaz and Dani Moya. Did I say those names correctly?
Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect.
All right, awesome. And we also have with us, friend of the show, Laceya Finley, coming back just because she's had some early experience with the game. She's been doing game reviews and hints and puzzles and everything. We wanted to get her input as well. How you doing, Lace?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me as always, man. I love it.
Awesome. All right, guys. First question I want to ask, and I guess this is more for the audience in general. Tell everyone a little bit about the game to kind of get them initiated as to why they would want to play this game.
Well, I guess it's hard to define. Stay is basically an adventure game. It has some aspects taken from visual novels genre, but also from adventure games because it has quite a bit of hard puzzles on it. So it's kind of a combination, and we tend to define it more as an experience than a pure game because we try to get rid of the typical elements from games, such as indications or information or tutorials. So everything is pretty cryptic and abstract, and we encourage users to self-discover things and just figuring out the rules is part of the fun for us when we were designing the game. Mm-hmm. And basically the premise is with this guy has been abducted somehow, and he wakes up in a room where there's nothing, just a computer. So the players, we cannot control this character, we play as ourselves. And we need to create this sort of connection with this character and try to lead him toward the right path to get out of that place and to discover what happened. So the one thing is this kind of conversation where we connect with him and chat with him and try to create that bond and help him in his journey. And the other aspect is the real time. So again, we try to simulate as much as possible that there's other life depending on your acts and your support. So every time you quit the game and you exit the game, the time keeps counting for this guy. So we transfer the sense of guilt and a little bit of the pressure towards the player. So that connects directly with the name of the game, which is Stay. So players immediately feel that they shouldn't leave and they should keep going with this adventure till the end.
Yeah, it's a very effective process. I know that I played enough to where I didn't want to leave, because I felt that connection, and even if I was tired, I was like, I need to go to bed, but I want to stick around with him. I don't want to leave him. So you did a really good job at making that connection without anyone really realizing it. It's just there, and you find yourself connected to him. So I really dug how you did that. Were there any ideas that came about, or I guess beforehand, that kind of inspired how you approach this game?
Want to go, Dani, or should I?
Yeah, you can go. I don't remember exactly the moment that this idea of the game came up. Just like thinking out loud, okay, something like a Tamagotchi, for instance, where you have to keep talking with some guy, but it wasn't even kidnap or something. That came later on when we were developing the game. We just thought that maybe it's okay to have a story. So we're trying to explain or tell a story, but in real time and with these elements of like a Tamagotchi that you cannot leave it for a long time. You have to feed him, but with your own presence and your talking and the kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean the first joke was to make like a imaginary friend on WhatsApp that's chasing you constantly. Like I have a contact and I don't know who that is, but it's constantly just chasing me. And then eventually that merged with the story that we want to tell. And then it was key to have our writer, which she was like keen enough to merge the story that we want to tell with this crazy idea of a guy put in a basement somewhere, and she just like triggered both elements and build that story, which we cannot tell much, unfortunately, because it would spoil the everything. But the two elements were like made for each other, like without much anticipation, and we weren't like constantly thinking about that, but it just came up naturally, and they were like meant to be with each other, and that's what. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to tell you that we had everything in place before building the game. It was like a natural process, and we went through different bumps, and eventually it all came together this way, and that's. Some reviews have said, and I think it's pretty accurate, that this game is not perfect, but it's raw and it's like honest, and it's like it's ourselves in it. Full transparency, and that's how we would feel about the project.
Oh yeah, I would agree. It's even in saying that there's frustrations or the puzzles are frustrating. Knowing what I know, I felt that it was a necessary part of it. I felt like if you didn't have that, you missed the point. So, and again, I don't want to spoil anything because I want people to play this. I want them to experience it like I did. And I agree. Despite how difficult it can be, it needs to be that, because if you don't, you completely miss the point of the game. So I respect that decision.
Yeah, it's something that we have realized now that. For some reason, users or gamers are not like used to experience bad feelings when playing. They kind of reject bad feelings. We wanted to generate the same kind of feelings that Queen is going to. So we want users to feel frustration. We want users to feel lost when they are in some particular puzzle, for instance. Mm-hmm. So that is part of the journey that you need to do. And we understand that this is not. Some people say, "Oh, if it's not fun, it's not a game. I need to figure it that quickly. If I'm not able to figure this puzzle quickly, you did a bad job of signing the puzzle." And for us, it's part of the process. This like feeling this frustration is needed somehow.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yeah,
I agree.
The most difficult part for us has been definitely how to balance the difficulty of the game, and I mean the puzzles, and how this difficulty makes sense in the game. That's by large the most difficult part for us. We could have lowered the difficulty of the puzzles just to please everyone, and then the story gets a little weak, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And we wanted to say, okay, so this is our opinion of the game, how we wanted for the people to play this game, but now we also want to for the most part of the people to enjoy this game. So we are making some balance and adjustments to refine the puzzles, but to still have the essence of the whole game.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can only imagine how hard that is to try to find that balance, because again, you understand those puzzles are there because you're supposed to be frustrated. You're in a difficult situation. Like, it's not supposed to just be spoon fed to you. But I'm sure you've already noticed that gamers are the most vocal when they're upset about not being able to draw the dots or connect the dots right away. So yeah, you're right. I'm sure you've gotten all kinds now.
Yeah, no kidding.
More outspoken when they are frustrated and then we are pleased.
They're coming to you after they've been at it for an hour and ready to flip all the tables, right? Like, talk them off the ledge.
We understand their frustrations. Mm-hmm. We do.
Now, Lace, I want to turn to you for just a brief second. You got stuck on Chapter 11, which seems to be the
going trend, right?
Now, I'm famous.
It is now the infamous wall, yes.
Now, I guess, explain your feelings of that puzzle, like because you came to me at one point, it's like, I can't figure this out, help me out, and like, what were you going through when you were experiencing that puzzle for the first time before you actually solved it?
I hit a wall, pun intended. No, like, when I was going through it, of course, now, for the sake of this, I did have an early review copy, so those of you who are just picking it up now, it's going to look a little different. And even there was an update today, so I don't even know what it looks like as it sits right now. But I was happy to know that I was on the right track. So like going through it, I kept thinking that the peacock had a little bit more to do with it. It was actually kind of fun to collaborate with Steven back and forth, because him and I were both like, what? And then we'd try this and we'd do that. And we were on the right track, but it was making that feeling of frustration, because at the first time I was playing it, I was still under the impression, even as I'm playing the game, time is ticking on for him. So I was getting a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of panic, not knowing if I'm taking way too long on this puzzle. And by the time I'm done, will he have killed himself with a brick or something? Like, I don't know. All of those things are going through my mind. So coming to the conclusion, I'm very thankful that I had you guys to help me out, because I'm still not sure if I myself would have figured it out, coming from a standpoint of I've played puzzle games, but I'm not proficient in puzzle games. So sometimes it takes me a little bit longer to think like the developer, so like that's how I try to attack a lot of puzzles, is trying to, leading up to that point, what was the developer hoping that I was going to solve this puzzle in this certain way, because there's always logic to it, whether we get it or not. There was always a reason why the developer put it there and did it the way that they did. So yeah, it was mostly for me a lot of anxiety, and then after about an hour, I will admit I was getting extremely frustrated. And then when Steven didn't have a clue, and I'm like, you know what, I suck. That was all I kept thinking. I'm like, I'm not got the brain power to figure it out. Yeah, I mean, was it that way for you also?
Yeah, I feel like that at some point I probably was very close, because like you said, the peacock was a clue, the Minesweeper idea was a clue, and I was like, I know I'm getting this. There's something I'm missing here. And
yeah, for those of you who may not be old enough to remember Minesweeper, that might be another thing too.
Yeah. But even as I looked at the solution, I was like, I know I was close to this, but I missed something. And I feel like that the brick in the middle for the eye is what I missed. And it was like, man. So, yeah, it was frustrating, but I get it. I respect it. I really feel like that it was necessary after the fact. A lot of these players, if they'll just give it a chance, they'll get to the end, they might respect it too. They might have been frustrated for however many hours, but then they'll look back and say, I get that. Okay. I would hope anyway.
Well, clearly it wasn't impossible, because he was telling me he found somebody posted a walkthrough. Was it in Japanese or Mandarin or something that you said you'd found, Iñaki?
Yes.
So like,
yes,
did
yes.
he? So I mean, someone figured it out. Like, you know, they just had more patience, I guess, than the rest of us. You know, it was able to deduce it. So it's
Probably
not
like a
impossible,
super
guys.
G.
It's not impossible. You just gotta have a little
It's
patience.
doable. It's doable.
It's doable. Yeah.
It's just that your mind tricks you because you tend to think that like the red glow is going to be error and the light glow is going to be okay. You're missing like the point of the puzzle, so you get distracted by the first like layer of information. But if you take a look at the hints, you understand that this information is valid for one purpose, then the solution is actually you need the second step to understand which brick it needs to be pushed out or not. So it's kind of like a Rubik's Cube that you need to solve it without paying much attention to what you're actually doing. You just understand the rules of it. So it's kind of similar in that way, that you need to figure it out even if what you are seeing is not directly or it looks like definitely good while you're doing it.
Right.
Funny thing is, this puzzle at the beginning was conceived as a totally different one. And when we were doing Q&A, people were saying to us, this is too easy. You need to change this a little bit. And then we introduced this Minesweeper mechanic. And
I need to see
messed it up
video
a
of the
little bit.
too easy version, just FYI.
Nothing to do with the current version. It had like the peacock, and when you poke the peacock, some feathers were falling, and when feathers were touching a right brick, it was like there was like a glow in that brick. So you just needed to just keep poking the animal.
Oh, so people were
Remember that sequence
kind of
and
cheating.
that was
I gotcha.
It was like animal torture, and
Oh, nice. I did admit after I got frustration, I did play with that peacock probably way too much. I'm like, you know what? Just kidding.
But on the bright side, we need to realize that thanks to that puzzle, many users came to the Discord channel or to the forum. So bad publicity sometimes is good publicity.
We all bonded, you know, we've all bonded from the PTSD of the wall, you know.
Now, speaking of the emotions that we've all kind of went through with the puzzles, and even that Quinn goes through, where did the idea of using the Hippocrates 4 temperament theorem come from? Because I found that to be very interesting.
Yeah, that came straight from the writer, from our screenwriter. We wanted to express visually somehow the roller coaster of emotions that Quinn was going through during this process of this journey. And it was like we wanted to express it with some sort of statistics at the very beginning, but it looked too much of a game. You know, you have like statistics. It was a little too straightforward, and everything in this game is a little different, or we try to do things like out of the box. Sometimes it ends in a good outcome. Sometimes it's weird, and you kind of reject it as a user, I guess. But we wanted to do something visually different, so she found this theory. We have heard of this theory in the past, but we never thought to include it right at the beginning. But then it was like a natural fit as well to reflect different moods of Quinn.
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like that I had actually heard about it. I'm sure I've heard about it in passing, but actually studying it after the fact, I probably learned a lot just playing this game.
Right?
Because I learned more about, symbols from other countries. I did that. I even learned Morse code.
Right.
Geography.
Geography, right? Yeah.
So I felt like I did a lot of research and learned quite a bit. So it was not only a fun game, but a learning experience.
Happy to know that.
Yeah.
It was for us while doing the game, actually, because we don't know all of that stuff from our heads, right? We do some research, and we find that symbol or this symbol, and we should include this or that. So it's been a learning process for us as well. So.
No, I like
Right.
that you guys did it that way, because it just kind of made me as the player feel like I was actively doing more for Quinn. So it made me feel like I was more part of the game. So you weren't just splaying out every hint right there. It took me time to maybe Google, bring up a map and zoom in so I could see what, once you get to that part, like where in specific we're looking for, or Googling all of that up, or back in the day, if you had encyclopedias or whatever. It actually made me feel like I was actively participating more in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I loved that it wasn't just only in the game were all the hints,
Mm-hmm.
And that's when we need to go against the rules, because I remember, and our publisher, they are super, super cool guys. But one thing early on that they told us is that we should have everything in the game, because especially in consoles, for instance, people, if they need to get out of the game to find the solution, they are not going to like it. They are used to find solutions within the game. But you're free to do it if you want. So they allow us to do whatever we want to do, but they just give us recommendations. And in this case, we wanted to keep the essence of the puzzle. So if you need to find out where India is and how their numeric system looks, I mean, we think this is not that hard to go with your smartphone to
exactly. All that information is pretty quick to find now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And who has encyclopedias anymore? I mean,
libraries.
I would love to meet that guy. So speaking of which, just to kind of divert slightly, how long have you guys been in the gaming industry?
Yeah.
I think
we
since,
started
2010, 2011.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it was 2011 that we made our first application, right? And then we did a bunch of mobile games. Dani was living in Sweden by then. We were in different countries, different works, and it was in our spare time. Eventually, we did a few more games, and we we won a contest here in Barcelona for startups. So we had like an incubation process, and then we moved to a different stage where we had some funding to create our company for real, and we were able to quit our jobs and just dedicate full time to making games. And then is when they started.
Nice.
Yeah, but it's been a learning process all the way, because this is our first PC and Mac game and Xbox, and so we have been doing mobile phones apps, but this is our first more complex and more tangible game.
Yeah.
Are you looking to port this over to any other consoles like the Switch or the PlayStation?
We are not. Let's say we cannot. We are now focused on PC and Xbox, but anything can happen in the upcoming months.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, our lips are sealed.
In other words,
okay, sorry. I mean, I just know from PAX, everyone was saying the Switch was the way to go for indie games. So
I've noticed that I'm really happy that it's been lending itself to that, honestly. Mm-hmm. I've been hearing more and more people starting to get more into indie games because they're like, it's so easy for me to download on my Switch. And I'm like, I'm extremely happy to hear that, so maybe keep tuned, right? Keep tuned.
Yes.
Join the Discord, you'll find out.
And one funny thing is that the game was initially conceived as a mobile game. To work with notifications and the real-time aspect of it. But we all know that the mobile space is pretty crowded and it's pretty difficult to work with premium titles. For a bunch of reasons, we decided, if possible, to release it first on PC and consoles. And we were lucky enough to find the right partner to do so. So we changed a little bit the scope of the title, but initially, and in that sense, Switch looks like a good fit, because we need to redesign our first idea of the game to make it playable on a PC or on a console. Mm-hmm. And the Switch, since it's portable and you can bring it with you, the real-time aspects elevates a little bit, because you can check on screen more often than on a PC.
Yeah, and also, from an indie company perspective, you wanted to throw it to all the major consoles and Steam and everywhere. You need to have the game everywhere, to get as much as downloads and as much money as possible to keep making games, right?
Right.
Yeah, and you need to start with the highest price point, of course. Mobile games are less expensive in general, so you need to start with the other platforms.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also because this game is to be made with the Unity, and it's pretty straightforward to have all these little platforms. So you can develop once, and you can have like the game on different platforms. It's not so difficult. So for us, it's like the right thing to do.
Before I ask one of my last two questions, Elise, do you have any questions that you wanted to ask?
Kind of touched on it a little bit, but I have to say, though, that like what really drew me to the game, because I saw it at PAX, and I had the pleasure of meeting both of you gentlemen and discussing the game while I was waiting in line. What really drew my eye to it was the pixel graphics. Was there or a reason why you decided to go that way as opposed to any other kind of design that you could have done? I mean, I know how I feel about it. I think it was perfect, but did it go through any other iterations?
Mm-hmm. Well, we said earlier that we are like newbies in the gaming industry. We came from design and programming backgrounds, and we did multiple things before doing games. So it was like a natural process for us to end up doing games. And in art-wise, we could have done any other 2D visuals. But since a few years ago, I started working a lot with pixel art, and all our mobile games were in pixel art too. So it's kind of our trademark, and we loved it because it takes us to our childhood and to our memories, and also because it gives us enough abstraction to express. To suggest more than express directly in viewer's eyes, so people just have like a little piece of information, they figure out the rest, and sometimes just a couple of pixels here and there change. It's like the queen's eyebrows. If they are like up or down, you express a lot with just a little minimal information. Right. And for us, it wasn't even like a discussion. I mean, until clearly the market tells us that we shouldn't do more pixel art, then maybe we will jump into another art style. If that doesn't happen, we will keep doing always pixel art because
love it. Yeah, love it.
I mean, it's what we like to do, and that's what we do basically. And I even teach pixel art at university here in Barcelona. So it's getting more and more like lovers, even in the academic.
The younger generation starting to fall in love with it, seeing it brand new, probably for them for the first time.
Exactly. It's a different link or bond that they have with pixel art. They grew up with Minecraft. I grew up with Super Nintendo games or Amiga. So it's a different connection, but they still they appreciate it as any other art style. So maybe sometimes the people that have like 30 or 40 years that they know where pixel art comes from, they kind of reject it because they think that this was done already and we should move on to other stuff. But actually the younger generations don't have that process in their mind. And they just look at it as graphics and it's another art style, right? So it's not technically, even if it's technically simpler, it's not worse. It's just another art style.
Right. No, I would say that I don't think pixel graphics will ever go away. I think it's a legitimate art form for what it is. You're still telling your story. You're still getting your game out. I'll defend it from here until eternity because it's still a way to tell your story. It doesn't matter if you've got the highest end graphics, 4K, whatever. Does that do a service to this story? Do we need that for this story? I don't think so. The way you have it presented is appropriate for what you're doing. So, yeah, graphics do not make a game by any means. So I'm with you there. Stick to what you're good at there.
No, I think it was beautifully done. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, without really saying, I guess, too much, do you guys have any other games you're kind of looking to do right now? Like any ideas you kind of got on the back burner? I know you're real busy with this one right now.
Well, we would love to make Stay 2 if this is successful enough. There's not all endings. I mean, there are a couple of endings that are quite open, so we could, and also our writer already wrote some draft on how this could move forward. She has already some ideas, and we had another project in mind, but it is a super large project that looks beautiful in our heads, because it's narrative project as well, but it has control characters, so it's a completely different story in development wise. Yeah. So we really, in this, like Dani was saying, being in the studio, we need to be really careful with the decisions we make, and if we jump into a development, a project that's going to take 3 years, for instance, we need to really be sure that we are able to fulfill that and to have the team and the resources. So it's a little bit early. We have something in mind. So we have something in mind for Stay that is connected to Stay, and something that is completely different, but it has pixel graphics, and it has a ton of pixel graphics. That's what we can say. And we honestly think that what we would love to do in this new project hasn't been done yet. We need to do more research, but I think it hasn't been done yet, so it would be really, really cool.
Yeah, but if Stay goes well, it's going, we'll probably do Stay 2. Yeah. I don't know how, if it's going to have puzzles on it or not.
I know now I have so many questions, but I don't want to say anything because then it kind of spoils the end for people. So we'll have to talk afterwards.
I want to make a DLC for Stay, which has only different brick puzzles, one after another.
Yes!
Just to
charge it, but make sure it's more than the actual game. Just because I think that Discord discussion would be fun for me to watch. Probably horrible from your end, but I would grab popcorn.
No, I'm definitely intrigued now because I would like to know how that would go. But
right, I know we can't really extrapolate right now. Yep.
Outside of any, I guess, obviously you want the game to be successful, but do you have any other hopes for this game? Something you want it to achieve outside of just that it's popular and well received?
Well, it's a tough one to answer, honestly, because Dani said that perfectly. We need to make enough money just to keep it going. We are not chasing being millionaires or earning a lot of money. We just want enough just to jump onto another 2-year project. So every game starts from scratch, right? So you need to just have enough resources, not only to do the entire development, just to have a little enough just to be able to have a vertical slice or a prototype, so a publisher can trust in the game and can advance you a little bit more. So it's a very gradual process. And our hope with the game, it was more than anything just to be able to release our first complex or serious title in another big platform. It's our first, like Dani was saying, our first title on Steam, our first title for console. So this is already an achievement. If we are able to share the story and the majority of the users like that and give us the credentials or the validation that what we are doing is good enough, that's our goal. For us, that's successful. Success is defined. Each one of us has a different threshold for success. Yeah. So for that, achieving that for us would be more than enough just to move forward.
Yeah, I would say that you never know how many copies are you going to sell, but just be able to finish the game and launch it as you conceived and as you wanted. For us, it's like a big achievement.
Yeah. No, I've always said that if you can at least just make enough to keep feeding your passions, then you've made it, right? I'm the same way. I don't need to be rich. I just want to live comfortably and be able to do what I love. And that's amazing to hear. Yeah.
Sleep a little bit more.
Maybe. Well, give it a couple months and then you'll get an extra hour, maybe.
Right. Granted, this is not my game, but I kind of hope for you guys that this game reaches someone in some way. on an emotional level, because when you really understand the conversation we've had, and I'd rather not, again, because it's spoilerish, but conversations we've had about the development, where the ideas came from, I feel like this could really connect to people emotionally if they'll just give it a chance. And I think they would be surprised in a way how much it actually could, because I don't really know how to go any farther without really saying much, but we all kind of experience in a way what Quinn goes through. So somewhere, some way, I would feel that someone out there is going to say, I get this guy. I feel like this guy, and I've connected with it. And maybe you'll get that message one day on Discord or wherever on Twitter. So it's like, this game really touched me in a way so personal, and I really appreciate you guys for doing it, because I have no doubt
I've already seen some of those conversations happening, actually, where people really, it hit home what the overarching point of the story was. And it's not flooding yet, but I have seen those conversations happening, and it's really quite a beautiful thing when they start coming together and having that conversation together, and making friends around this sort of thing. So again, like Stephen was saying, I do encourage you to keep on going and really paying attention to that story, because it's really touching. It's really got a nice message to say.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and it has happened already. Like the conversation that we have with you guys, and it was, when you take it like a little bit of perspective, there was a guy in China that sent me a message, and we were like discussing a little bit, and this guy actually told me that he had learned a lot from the game, not from story perspective and things in life and so, but just just based on purely the gameplay and the pace that he needed to have to approach the game, and he needed more patience. And he told me, I'm a developer and I'm having like a really hard time with my partner, because I'm very anxious and I'm very nervous, and we are not doing so well with the game. And actually my partner recommended me this game. And after playing, I learn a lot about myself, and now I have like a different approach in the different issues that we are having, and I gain more patience, and I gain more resilience and stuff. So that was like amazing to me, that a guy from the other side of the world has used the game just to improve himself as like in a behavior way. And that was like really, really touching. We didn't expect that. You just share your story and just want to have like good reviews, and somebody tells you that.
Oh, that's fantastic though. Yeah. See, those are going to be some really fun things that you're going to have to talk about for a long time to come,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, these are universal ideas. Everyone can relate. So I think that's what really helps make it accessible to every player out there. So it's a great game, guys. I really hope for the best that it becomes something. I'm looking forward to the idea of Stay 2, because that just is
I have so many questions.
Intrigue. I just want to know. I'm like, how would you do that? But I'm not going to say anything.
Right?
Thank you so much for your kind words, and it's, again, when we are developing this game for 2.5 years, we are a little bit into the blind. Sometimes you went to different events and you have good feedback, but honestly, you still don't know if you are doing some crazy thing that no one is gonna care about when you release it. So having just people just liking it and just supporting our project, it means like really a lot, and it makes a difference for us. So thanks again.
Yeah, thank you. No, it's my pleasure.
I hate that I missed you guys at PAX. I don't know how I did that.
I think this was that time where we just like had split off for like that hour, and wandering along.
Because we were trying to hit up everybody. We wanted to make sure, and I'm so glad we did, because we found you guys, or at least she did.
Lace has this eye for pixel art.
I know. Literally, I was just wandering down the hall looking up, and I'm like, wait a minute. Walked right on over. There was, one guy in line. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna wait. I want to try this. I didn't even allow myself to finish the full demo because I had already known after like 3 or 4 chapters that I wanted to play the game. And I didn't even allow myself to finish the full demo because I wanted to make sure I was at home and gave it the full attention that I wanted to give it. So
that's when you know it's good. You're just like, nope. I got to stop now because I'll be here all day.
Yep.
No, thank you. It was a pleasure to meet you. There's no words to thank both of you that what you are doing for us. So thanks again.
It's our pleasure.
Yeah.
Anytime you are in Barcelona, you know that you can give us a call.
There we go. Go share a beer.
I've got an invite now.
There I know, right? There we go.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we can discuss stay too.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, thank you for your time. Maybe we'll get to see each other at another gaming event. We're going to make a habit of going, and fingers crossed to get to meet you sometime in person.
Absolutely.
It will happen for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just so we put it out there, it's still in launch week. So how long is it? You said 20% off?
It's 20% off until next Wednesday. And if you get the bundle, the soundtrack and the game, it raises up to almost 30% off. So combined, because the bundle has a 10% extra. So it's a nice moment to grab.
So 20% off through May 23rd, right?
Get out there and get this game. You'll do yourself a favor.
And have patience and listen to this story. You'll thank us
That's
later.
right.
And if you see a wall, don't
get upset.
Yeah, don't get upset.
Guys,
Don't get upset.
If you see the wall, you can search Lace videos on YouTube and you will.
Hopefully it's still relevant today. We'll find out when I open the game back up.
It is.
But yes.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for the interview, and take care.
Thank you guys for having us.
All right. So let's get on to some release dates.
Release dates.
Yeah, I've actually been doing a lot more research on this, and boy, do we have a list now.
Good. I mean, this is the time of year.
All right. So on May 22nd, we have Pixel Ripped 1989 for PS4, PSVR, and PC. Runner 3 for Nintendo Switch and PC. Tennis World Tour, which sounds really boring. PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC.
You know you want to play it.
No. H1Z Run for PS4. Mega Man Legacy Collection 1 and 2 for the Nintendo Switch. Space Hulk Deathwing for PS4. Punch Club for the Nintendo Switch. One Piece Grand Cruise for the PS4. Everspace for PS4. Goragoa. There we go. For PS4 and PSVR. NBA Playgrounds. NBA Playgrounds 2 for PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC. Disco Dodgeball Remix for PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC. Star Trek Bridge Crew DLC, which is, I think, the next generation DLC they're adding to it for PS4.
Stewart?
Well, I'm sure more like the outfits and the bridge and whatnot. PS4 and PSVR. And I Hate Running Backwards for PS4 and Xbox One. Then on May 24th, we have Bloodstained Curse of the Moon for PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, PC, 3DS, and PS Vita.
That's the
all-encompassing.
One like the maker. Well, no, is it the maker of Castlevania, or is it in the Symphony of the Night kind of vein?
I think in that wheelhouse.
Okay.
Zenbound for Nintendo Switch. Baobab's Mausoleum, Episode 1. Ooh, I'm going to struggle with this one. Ovnifagos Don't Eat Flamingos.
Nice.
Whatever that is. Nintendo Switch. N++ Ultimate Edition for Nintendo Switch. And Dylan's Dead Heat Breakers for 3DS. Then on May 25th, we have Dark Souls Remastered for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Do you want to play that?
No.
Okay. I don't either. Detroit Become Human for PS4. Sudden Strike 4 European Battlefields Edition for Xbox One. Pixel Junk Monsters 2 for PS4, Nintendo Switch, and PC. Dungeon Rushers for Xbox One and Nintendo Switch. And 7 Scarlet for the Vita.
7 Scarlet.
Something like that. They even, it's like 7 Scarlet. They put them all together. I'm just reading it as I see it. All right, are you ready for this review?
I am ready for this review, but I just realized something before you say that.
Mm-hmm.
You just said May 25th. That's Friday.
Is it?
Yeah. Sony seems to have Spider-Man comes out on a Friday.
That's true.
God of War came out on a Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I like it on Friday, honestly.
Yeah, because...
Get off work and I have the weekend.
That's right.
But I think it's a good move on their part.
I mean, I'm down with it. Nintendo's been doing it for a while.
Yeah.
Well, they've been kind of doing... I know they used to do Sunday releases, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, Sundays... it's a weird release to me.
Yeah, because I know that I think when I got Super Smash Brothers Brawl, I think that was the one on the Wii. It came out like midnight Sunday, and I was there to get it because I wanted to play it. I stayed up till 3 a.m, and I was like, I really need to go to bed.
Did you go to work the next day?
Well, it was Sunday. Well, it was technically Saturday
night, Sunday morning. Gotcha.
That whole thing. All right. Well, let's get into this review of the game Stay.
Very interesting game.
Mm-hmm. Now, a few weeks ago, we looked back on what could be considered an unconventional video game. Phoenix Wright could easily be called an interactive novel as opposed to a video game of any sorts, yet it was never a term I chose to use. I feel that reclassifying it as another medium does it a disservice to the platform in which it's presented on, much in the same way a choose-your-own-adventure book would be an interactive novel, not a video game. Also, by reclassifying it, you take away the idea that video games themselves can be artful, another idea we believe in on this show. Yeah. Stay is a story-driven, pixel art-style, puzzle-filled video game that will immediately keep you hooked, despite a few road bumps. The story is the main attraction of this game, with the premise alone being enough to lure in curious gamers. It begins with a man named Quinn finding himself trapped in a darkened room with no clues of his whereabouts or how he became trapped there. However, within a room is a PC that he uses to contact the outside world for help. What he gets is you. That concept alone is enough to interest me. When I find a game that could find a way to make you yourself a character within the narrative, it's an outstanding achievement.
Yes.
Only one other game that comes to mind when thinking of that concept, and that is Contact for the Nintendo DS. As interesting as that concept was implemented there, it never felt as personal as it does here. And I think I've talked to you about that before.
Yeah.
What makes his journey personal is how you interact with Quinn. He's reaching out to you at first because he just needs help. However, the conversation is very defensive since he doesn't know you any more than you know him. At certain points of your conversation, you're usually given 2 response options with a single or third option thrown in every now and again. These choices can range from sympathy to apathy, which will affect Quinn on an emotional level, something that you can actually keep track of due to a temperament gauge. There are 4 colors, red, yellow, black, and blue, that symbolize a particular temperament that Quinn is experiencing in that moment. Keeping an eye on this gauge will allow you to manage what direction you're pushing the conversation, and this is crucial since the game has branching paths to follow that lead to 7 different endings. One of the road bumps I mentioned earlier in the game would be the puzzles. At various points in the game, Quinn will come across a clue or an item or an area that could lead to solving the mystery or help him escape. These situations are laid out with a puzzle for you to then solve. Within the game's 24 chapters, I went through 10 without a brain buster. Chapter 11 presented the first real challenge. This puzzle caused me to walk away for the first time ever. After some time studying the puzzle, I deduced an answer, but how to answer within the puzzle is what proved more difficult. There were hints on the screen, but I never felt like they were clear enough to ensure the solution. However, in saying that, playing an early version of the game was what I was playing, and I have heard that this particular puzzle was getting a more refined hint. Now, other puzzles down the road still presented a challenge, with 1 or 2 feeling like an additional hint would be extremely helpful. That said, there were times I prided myself in figuring out the solutions despite what could be considered a lack of hints. These weren't trial and error puzzles, but genuine discovery based on what was presented before me. The puzzles of this game would be a turnoff for some players who are not willing to take the time to solve it, and could possibly cause them to storm away just like I did. However, I will respect the developer for not spoon-feeding answers to the players. In fact, I understand why they didn't, as it has a very clever connection to the narrative. So if you're willing to be patient and give it time, and you understand why, you'll be rewarded handsomely. Speaking of time, this was another aspect of the game that I found to be ingenious. The game actually keeps track of every minute you spend with Quinn and every minute you spend away from him, adding more credibility to the idea that you were involved in his situation. In any given day, you don't know how long you have to spend with the game. Here you find yourself wanting to stay with him and keep him company as he's trying to solve the mystery of his predicament, but maybe your own life is calling. Maybe you've got to go out to the store. Maybe you've got to go do something.
Do you do that? Do you do that in the game? Like, oh no, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like in real life, like you got to go to the store.
Yeah, you have to. You have to go.
So that's the part. Like just talking about it, you have to experience this game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So maybe even you're playing late at night and you're tired and you got to go to sleep.
Right.
You know, when I first played the game, when I got to chapter 11, that was one of the times. I mean, I was tired and I was like, I've got to go to bed. You know, I don't have time all night to play this and try to solve this puzzle. So the game will make you question yourself about leaving Quinn, especially knowing his mental health is at play. It never happened to me during the playthrough, but I know it is possible to return to Quinn after some time away to find him dead.
Right.
So the fact alone kept me playing because I became emotionally invested with this character and did not want my absence to lead to his death. Now, without getting too deep into the story itself, getting to the end may not answer all of your questions immediately. In fact, you may be left with more than you actually started with. However, that creates an incentive to go back and find a better ending and unravel the story further. If you're willing to do that, you're beginning to understand the depth that this game has. You know the situations, you know the puzzles. How hard could it be to go through this again? As truth becomes clearer, things get easier to understand, just like life. Mm-hmm. This is where Stay elevates itself above all other narrative games and finds a way to take you on an emotional journey without you even realizing it. If I'm ever asked again if video games are an art form, this could very well be one of the first games I point to.
Yeah. Okay, so I noticed in a picture, and it said days to connect.
Yes.
You have a certain, how many days?
It will just clock that.
Okay, so when you say so if you're doing good, it'll say, okay, so it's 2 days to connect. If you're doing good. But if you're doing bad, it could be more?
No. It literally tracks your time.
Okay.
So if I'm sitting there playing and I'm connected with him for, say, an hour and 40 minutes, there's a timer going the entire time I'm playing. But if I've got to stop, I could be in a puzzle, like I was in the middle of puzzle 11, or chapter 11, with that puzzle, and I just shut it off. I disconnected.
Right.
So close the game, quit it. When you come back, it will show you a time counter, the time you've spent with him, the time you've been away.
Right.
So if you've been away 8 hours, that's about the time you slept. It's going to tell you you've been gone 8 hours, and it's still clocking the time that you're still not connected to him.
Wow.
So that plays a factor.
Yeah, like just watching, like I said earlier or before, I seen this game at PAX, and I just seen it. Yeah. You have to play this game.
Yeah, you really do.
Fully respect this game, you have to play it.
I really hope that it gets a wide release, not just on PC and Xbox, but finds Switch, PlayStation, wherever.
Just PlayStation. I don't care what the other one.
Well, it needs to get the more exposure you can get, the better.
Yeah, I agree, but mainly PlayStation.
I understand.
Come to PlayStation.
I understand that, but no, it's really. I wish I could explain it to you more, but I really feel like that you really need to play the game. Even our audience listening right now, there are elements about the story, and they could have been touched on in the interview, but I don't want to expand upon them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I don't want anything to be spoiled. I feel like you have to understand it, and then when you hear this after the fact, it makes you appreciate it so much more.
Right.
You know what I mean? So even, I don't know what more I can really say about it other than what I just did.
Just play it.
Yes, go play it. You got a PC, you got an Xbox, go play it. If it comes to the other consoles, we'll let you know, and then
I
go
will
play it.
If it comes to PS4, I will play it.
You will. But this is, I mean, in all honesty, it could easily be, if you knew your puzzles, if you knew how to get through it, I could say you could probably get through this game somewhere between 4 to 6 hours.
Right.
It's really not a long game. Even at 24 chapters, they can go by pretty quick. It's the time you spend solving the puzzles that can be time consuming.
Right.
And then, of course, obviously your time away if you have to put it down.
Right. And that changes everything.
It can.
Right.
Because say if you're really like building a bond with him and he's getting, used to you, he wants you to hang around, you follow that gauge and say you're pretty close knit. If you're gone for a day, I'm sure that's going to diminish.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's
pretty
just
cool,
very
though,
clever.
Yeah, it is very clever.
And then that could really screw up your chances to get a better ending too.
Right.
So I don't know. I need to go back and go through it and try to get a better ending. But I feel like I want to carve out the time to spend with him completely.
Yeah.
That way I'm bonding with him that entire time. And
What if he
hopefully
gets sick of you?
that would be funny.
This hoe needs to back off.
Because even again, you can be a complete dick to him.
Right.
You don't have to care. You can just be like, dude, I don't really care.
Right.
Do whatever you want. So, however you want to play it. Well, that's our show.
That was a good show.
It was a good show.
We had everything in that show. We had birds.
Mm-hmm.
We had a nice review for an indie game. I guess next week is my turn for an indie game.
Yeah, if you want to. Just let me know ahead of time.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
Because I don't want to, put in work for a game, and
Yeah.
I just need to know what it is.
Yeah.
Because everyone loves those icons, even though no one says.
I'm thinking about I was thinking about Minute, but I think didn't you do that one already?
I haven't done it yet.
Okay, I'm thinking about that. For
Go
some
for
reason,
it.
I'm just intrigued to play that game.
So am I.
Yeah.
I don't really feel like I need you to convince me to play it, but I would love to hear it.
Yeah, but somebody might need convincing.
Yeah, you never know.
I might hate it.
You might.
I'm going to be honest.
You never know.
But this is my opinion.
That's right, and that's
Yeah.
what it needs to be.
Right.
That's a promising review right there.
Yeah.
Is someone's
My
opinion.
That
You
doesn't
don't have to
mean-
take it
Yeah,
as law.
yeah, because say 7 out of 10 people like this game. I might be one of the 3 that don't like it,
Mm-hmm.
but there's 7 other people that do.
That's true.
Great show.
Thank you. Thank you to all of our listeners out there for being here every week. Your love and support is greatly appreciated. Big thanks to our patrons who make this show and other shows we do possible. If you're interested in supporting our show, head over to patreon.com/Pencil and Paper Productions. As I kind of mentioned before, recently made changes to the reward tiers. So if you've looked before, go look again. Maybe something will catch your eye. You can follow the show on Twitter, Super Mega Crash. Leave reviews on iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, YouTube, wherever you listen to this podcast. Just let it be known that you really care.
Help us. Help us out. Let
All
us
it
know
is,
where
just a
we
little button.
stink at and where we're good at.
Mm-hmm. Just give us a little click, a little like. Be nice.
A little tap.
Click a button. Thank you so much for listening. I am Stephen White.
I'm Todd Stark.
Join us again next time, Super Mega Crash siblings. But until then, game on.
This has been a Pencil and Paper Podcast Network production.